everybody. Did you know that the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize winner has a secret kill list? That's right. According to the New York Times, President Obama has personally selected a group of men, women, and maybe even a 17-year-old girl who could be targeted for death if found. The astounding info leaked to the New York Times shows a new Obama, an Obama who personally picks who makes the kill list and who avoids it, an Obama willing to use drone strikes extensively. Don't get me wrong. I like a president who's willing to kill the bad guys. I just recall a liberal law professor who vowed to close Gitmo, who sued CIA agents, and who bashed the Iraq War. Bob, if this were Bush or, God forbid, Dick Cheney, I'm sure you'd give them a pass, too, if a kill list was
First
found,
of all,
right?
I think that's what presidents do. George Bush kept a stack of cards in his desk where he had a picture of a terrorist on it, and as they were killed, he took them off, which was understandably the right thing to do. I mean, at Cheney, the problem with Cheney is I'd been on his kill list, and that'd been a real problem. But look, I think Obama has changed. He has used drones. He has used special forces effectively, and to even suggest that somehow there's something wrong with having a kill list, for you to suggest that shows you just how rapidly anti-Obama you are.
Dana, do you think that the left would be okay if President Bush revealed a kill list that he personally selected who was on and who wasn't?
Well, let's just take a trip down to Fantasyland for a second. When I woke up this morning, the first thing I saw was, if you read anything today, make sure you read this New York Times story. So
it goes on
forever.
forever.
First thing I do, I go. It said click through 7 pages. It's so long. I know Joe Becker; she's a great reporter. So I'm anxious to read it. If you did the search and replace, and you replace Obama with Bush or Cheney, do you think for a second we would not be talking tonight and leading the show with Senator Leahy calling for impeachment hearings? Because that's what happened. That's how they ended the terror surveillance program, and that basically gave away the plot. I don't know how I feel about this, because I understand that things are different. When you finally sit in the commander-in-chief's chair, you have a different perspective. You're responsible to protect innocent people. But that he can't reconcile what he said as senator to what he is now, to me, says we still don't understand who he is.
Nobody called for impeachment hearings during when Bush had a stack of cards.
I have to get Andrea in here. Andrea is very, very suspicious how this paper starts on the front page, goes to page 10 and 11, Andrea. Look at all full pages.
Like Anchorman's fingers.
Then page 12. It goes on and on. Really, really good reporting, or maybe some of this stuff.
Well, it is questionable. There are leaks from time to time in different administrations, but the level of detail that was leaked, and I would point out, this is on the heels of Peter King questioning how information, and we'll get to it later, but got out about the Pakistani doctor, how Hollywood got information about the bin Laden raid.
Underwear bomber?
Secret, classified information we've seen time and again leaked. They were never supposed to know how many choppers in the bin Laden raid. They weren't supposed to know the route. All of this stuff has been leaked out, and I would say it's for political reasons, to make him look tough.
I know you want to go to another topic, but real quick, here's the deal. You cannot criticize Gitmo and say it's a bad advertising for America. That's not who we are. And at the same time say, I love the drone kills. I love the Hellfire missiles.
Are you guys not happy with these drone kills?
I love it. I love it.
Okay,
I absolutely love it. But you cannot tell me that Gitmo is a bad advertising for America, but at the same time, a guy going to Denny's gets blown up because he's a terrorist. And I quote Faisal Shahzad, who's the Times Square bomber. He said, when they asked him why you're doing this, he goes, don't you think drones, do you think drones see children? When they asked, why would you kill innocent people?
You guys would be making this case if it wasn't Obama, if y'all didn't like.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm just comparing it to Gitmo.
I think we all agreed that we're glad that's going on. We're just trying to show the juxtaposition of pre-President Obama and current President Obama.
He went from still civilian terror trials to kill teams in Pakistan.
Right.
I would rather it would be a capture list than a kill list, so that we can get the intel, so that we can prevent future things. But I'm not on the inside.
All right, let's move on to topic 2. Sorry, guys, we had to cut that one short. President Obama gets tough on anti-war commies. Take a listen to President Obama at the Vietnam War Memorial yesterday.
You came home and sometimes were denigrated when you should have been celebrated. It was a national shame, a disgrace that should have never happened.
Now, I want to get to this discussion, but first, take a listen to Charles Krauthammer's assessment of what that was all about from yesterday. Go ahead.
We heard Obama today essentially doing penance for a country that spat on soldiers who returned from the Vietnam War. And what he didn't say is that in large part that was the work of the American left. It wasn't the work of the American right who supported the war. So in some ways he's trying to undo this legacy of 50 years.
Dana, what do you think?
Well, I just thought that I would point out in USA Today has a front page story about how there is a 13-year movement effort to heal some of those wounds after the Vietnam War, where a lot of people feel like they were not appreciated and didn't get the honor and respect that they deserved. And so I don't know whether President Obama is helping try to kick that off, but he is certainly he is helping heal some things while still making other people who might traditionally support him uncomfortable. So
All right, I just think that I love his message because I talked to Vietnam veterans. You lived this era, Bob, so I don't want to speak for you, but they feel as though they were totally disrespected, and they go out of their way to make sure Iraq and Afghan veterans are respected when they come back, which I think is admirable and shows their quality. But I do think the president had a great message. I hope he means it. I hope it's not political. But my feeling is that if he really wanted to go the rest of the way, he would call out the memory of John Lennon, who would talk about RFK and Muhammad Ali and say how wrong they were to oppose the war and the soldiers coming home.
First of all, I can't tell you how much I object to the use of the word anti-war communists. I happen to be anti-war, and the idea that you equate us all with communists, even for you, who I love, is going way over the edge. Number one. Number two, a lot of the disrespect that they got was from the Veterans Administration. They gave them lousy service, lousy help. There were a lot of wounded veterans who didn't get what they needed to get. It wasn't just the anti-war movement. And if we're all communists, by the way, there were tens of millions of people against that war by the time it was over.
Andrea?
I like what he said. Even presidents who are known as being leftist, like Wilson and FDR, were very avid supporters of the military. But if you look at this, charities that support veterans are booming. So I do think, is this for pure political expediency? Even among the intelligentsia, the Robin Hood Foundation and others, they're supporting their vets, huge donations coming in, and the support for the military is almost at an all-time high.
Can I ask Brian something Bob just said? He said that you blame the Veterans Administration somewhat for the treatment they got when they came back.
I don't. Vietnam veterans do.
Brian, do you think they blame the VA, or did they blame the anti-war movement that treated them like that when they got back?
They sacrificed so much emotionally, physically, in many ways, and sometimes with their lives. They would have been great to get a hug and appreciate for what you did. I understand the effort. I'm behind you as a country. That would have been more than getting good health care.
Right. Before we go, I have to show, Brian, we did a little research. We sent the brain room to show some anti-war activists, and we pulled up at full screen. Look what we found. Bill Ayers. Jane Fonda. Who's that guy in the middle, Mr. Beckel?
That's just a bunch of commies.
Did you tie-dye that shirt yourself, Bob?
No, I didn't. I'm still getting over being a communist. I have to get my red book out, and then I'm going to, after the show, you're going to have one minus chair here.
You're not a communist.
We got to leave it there. Coming up, how long can America survive with almost half the country on government support? Some new numbers paint a frightening picture when we come back.
This land makes me proud. Son, I'm just sorry there's no legacy for you now.